Now comes the line. The culprit is... Things always seem perfect in the exposition. Good evening. It would seem that my reputation precedes me.
But of course, your detective novels are famous worldwide. I myself have gathered the entire Miss Waffle series. Are we to expect the next book soon, dare I ask?
Oh, you flatter me. Rest assured, the next book is already in the works.
Your ticket is in perfect order. Happy holidays, miss.
Happy holidays.
You?
Creme brulee cookie?
Miss Linzer Cookie, may I assist you? The train will be departing in a minute, so please do be seated.
It's nothing. Do excuse me. No, thank you. Am I the last one to arrive? A cup of tea, please. Nice and hot.
Right away, Miss Linzer Cookie. If I may, are you visiting the Cookie Kingdom for the holiday festivities? Or perhaps to work on your next book?
I would neither confirm nor deny it.
The mystery above the waves was fantastic, simply fantastic. I wonder what thrilling story you are preparing this time.
You will find out soon enough. Indeed. I haven't had a finer meal in a while. My compliments to the chef. And I'd just love to stay longer, but alas, all this jolly mood in the air doesn't allow for speedy writing. My publisher loved the manuscript, but it lacks that special something. I want to write something fresh, something electrifying. How uncanny. This setting is quite similar to my novel in the making. The train, the holidays. Yes?
It's me.
Me who?
Creme brulee cookie, who else?
What a surprise! It's been so long, I almost forgot what your voice sounds like.
Forgot? You? Of all cookies.
How is that surprising? Anyway, what's the matter? Is it because of Schwarzwalder? Is he being too loud?
Yes. I don't know what he's doing, but all I can hear is the loud thudding and thumping.
You could have asked the conductor.
I didn't want to come across as difficult. Not before the grand concert.
I see. Well then, I shall grant your wish. I haven't unpacked yet, so it won't take long. What do you know? All these suites look exactly the same. So, this is my new room, All this room-swapping business made me thirsty. I suppose it's time for some refreshments. Now, I do have a manuscript to finish, but surely I can afford to play one game.
Miss Linzer Cookie, would you be so kind and not use your detective novelist skills to read our faces right away?
I may or may not spare you this once. Before this argument becomes too heated, I must point out that Old Jolly doesn't have your sheet music on them. It's rather unlikely they're the culprit. If you'll excuse me, I must get back to my manuscript. Enjoy the ceremony. The night express was speeding into the wintry dark, as if hoping for the dark to conceal the sinister secrets it carried aboard. Many years have passed since that fateful night, and yet... Miss Waffle couldn't forget that foul smell of depravity hanging in the gloomy twilight air. Somewhere in the same train, a shadowy figure rose in the doorway. Something terrible was bound to happen. It was only a dream. There has been nothing but the manuscript on my mind lately. Now it even comes to me in my dreams. But I must admit, what an intriguing hook. I especially liked how different scenes were punctuated by those spine-chilling sound effects. Or is it because the premise is so similar? Am I mixing up my book and reality? The same train rushing towards the holidays. An endearing ingenue, a serene poet, a bartender, a carefree drone, a brawny, ill-tempered bully, a hapless holiday messenger, a pianist. Two suspicious figures veiled in secrecy, and the protagonist detective. Come to think of it, the resemblance is uncanny. Then the next thing that will happen is... Don't be absurd, Linzer Cookie. Seems like the manuscript is beginning to toy with my common sense. At this rate, I'm not surprised. Let's go back to sleep. The morning promised to be brisk, yet otherwise uneventful. Alas, evil had other plans. Detectives.
How did you...
Oh, it was rather obvious. The way you were so secretive about your occupation and destination, the documents, the hushed whispering. At first, I didn't know what to make of your intentions. But soon, the facts added up, and it became clear who you are. Detectives on a mission! And detectives always come in pairs. Even the sight of old Jolly's body didn't startle you. And at that very moment, my theory was confirmed. Naturally. After all, there is no way of escaping from a running train. Well, I am most certain that I know what the Sugar Gnome was doing. An untied gift sack, gift boxes with our names scattered across the floor, and a holiday hat and beard. Judging by these items, it's clear old Jolly was preparing gifts for us when the incident occurred. Such a familiar beginning. Too familiar. Indeed, it follows my story almost to the letter. The victim, and the enclosed space of the running express train. Then, according to my manuscript, the antagonist will be...
Miss Linzer Cookie, please proceed to the dining car.
Esteemed detectives, I'd like to make a proposition. You see, my services and expertise might be very beneficial to the investigation. Perhaps I could assist you? Oh, marvelous. I will do my best not to get in your way. Besides, I already spoke to all the passengers yesterday. I'm sure you will find my remarks most helpful. Don't mind me. I simply volunteered to take down everyone's replies. Vampire Cookie, didn't you have a talk with old Jolly about the grape juices they carried? They seemed so tempting, did they not? Vampire Cookie was in the lounge car drinking juice with other cookies. His alibi is pretty solid. Say, what did you talk about with old Jolly over supper last night? What hides behind those pale blue eyes, I wonder? But Angel Cookie's alibi is solid as well. Yes, Vampire Cookie, Angel Cookie, and Carol Cookie were together, and their stories perfectly align. No alibi? No witnesses? Besides, Creme Brulee Cookie was so openly aggressive towards old Jolly. A witness claimed that you looked saddened after old Jolly refused to have your beverage. Why? Sparkling Cookie knew that old Jolly planned to visit every passenger's suite and deliver gifts. Was there anything else of note? I wonder what comes next. Very well. Did you, by any chance, hear Royal Bear Jelly pushing the room service cart through the hallway? Sparkling Cookie, Schwarzwalder, and the detective stories align as well. Looks like Schwarzwalder was the last one to question. Yes, of course.
Old Jolly case, record 7. Linzer Cookie. Alibi was in her room. Confirmed by none. Your story depicts one of the most elaborate mysteries. Naturally, you're under our greatest suspicion. Unless someone confirms your alibi, that is.
Yes, I was in my room writing. No one saw me. And yet, My alibi can be confirmed by my pen.
Your pen.
Yes, my trusty pen that happens to be a portative recorder. Quite handy when you travel around gathering material for manuscripts.
Oh, but this won't do. What if you made the record in advance to throw us off track?
It's a possibility, but please, do listen to the following part. It's past midnight. Everyone is at the tree lighting ceremony. Earlier today, I noticed numerous gift boxes under the tree itself, but I suspect those are mere decorations. Precisely. Schwarzwalder's creative process was caught on the record. He kept tapping his feet, reading the text, and banging on the desk. Will this be enough to dispel your suspicions, detectives? Does this mean you didn't suspect me, Cheddar Cheese Cookie? Exactly the conclusion a seasoned detective would reach. Now that the initial questioning has concluded, who do you think is the villain? I think I do have a suspect in mind. None of the cookies present at the ceremony noticed anything unusual, which means Royal Bear Jelly was working in the electrical room the entire time. Did you see anything unusual? If you have any further information pertinent to the investigation, by all means let us know. But according to Creme Brulee Cookie, he was at the banquet car. So it's true. Creme Brulee Cookie, the sheet music was found in your suite, in the corner, as though someone tried to tuck it away in a hurry.
I know nothing about it. I looked everywhere. It was gone. And now it mysteriously turns up in my room.
I can't trust Creme Brulee Cookie anymore. Even if what he says is true, there isn't a soul who could confirm it. Why didn't you tell the truth, Creme Brulee Cookie? This is what happened. If you will excuse me, I'd like to retire to my suite. The mystery was solved so fast. The chain of events followed my story. And Creme Brulee Cookie. In my manuscript, the pianist was the culprit. He took his revenge on a cookie who ruined his performance, but in the end, confessed the truth. Unlike Creme Brulee Cookie. It is true that no one can confirm Creme Brulee Cookie's alibi. And yet, why is this sense of uncertainty gnawing at me? What am I missing? I have to go back to the beginning. After supper, Creme Brulee Cookie and I switched rooms. Later, Creme Brulee Cookie's sheet music disappeared. Creme Brulee Cookie suspected Old Jolly of the theft and confronted the sugar gnome. At midnight, most cookies gathered for the tree lighting ceremony. The conductor was in the electrical room working on the illumination. At the same time, Old Jolly was preparing the gifts in the suite. That's when the gnome was confronted by Creme Brulee Cookie once more. Creme Brulee Cookie finds the sheet music in Old Jolly's suite and, in the heat of passion, hits the gnome with the candy cane. Old Jolly is out cold, and Creme Brulee Cookie decides to leave the body and hide in his own room. This narrative is completely logical, in all but one thing. Why would Old Jolly steal the notes? They don't present any value whatsoever. Besides, I have no doubt that Creme Brulee Cookie can perform without the sheet music. He knows his pieces by heart. The disappearance of the notes could have come across as a nuisance, but could it really lead Creme Brulee Cookie to committing the unthinkable? Something here doesn't add up. I'm out of paper. I think I had some left right there. Oh? Isn't this Creme Brulee Cookie's sheet music? Did I bring it here from his suite? No wonder. The envelope is just like the one I keep my manuscript in. I should bring it back. But look! The sheets are all shuffled up, and there are no marks of jam. Ah, Royal Bear Jelly. How may I help?
I'm offering hot, fragrant tea to the passengers. Would you like a cuppa?
How nice of you. Thank you. Oh, no need. I'd like to rest for a while, that is all.
Oh, of course, of course. I will not bother you further. Have a good evening.
I never informed the conductor about the fact we switched our suites. Moreover, when Royal Bear Jelly went to wake up Creme Brulee Cookie in the morning, he found the switched room without any trouble. Creme Brulee Cookie, are you in... What's going on?
Linzer Cookie.
What are you trying to do? You may escape from the car, but you can't jump off a moving train.
Don't look at me like that. I'm begging you. I'm not a fool. I simply was trying to reach you.
Reach me? What for?
I didn't do it. I had to make you trust me. The true culprit is still at large.
But I'm not a detective. Besides, why would I believe your words?
Of course not. But I've seen the look in your eyes back there. That look when you can't make sense of your story.
What? My novels are impeccable, and such is my deduction. And yet, you see right through me. This is why I'm here. Here, your notes. Take a look. As suspected, it wasn't Creme Brulee Cookie. A professional pianist would never leave their sheet music in disorder. Especially a perfectionist like Creme Brulee Cookie. Another thing. Did you, by any chance, inform the conductor about switching our rooms?
I didn't. I had no time running around chasing my notes. Also, why would I?
In that case, how did Royal Bear Jelly know? Switched rooms? Shuffled notes?
Linzer Cookie, did you hear what I just said?
I'm sorry?
Lost in thought again, huh? I said that it's very hot in this car.
Oh, indeed. I know that you prefer lower temperatures.
Only cold cream can make the perfect creme brulee. Cold air makes me more focused before going on stage.
I will ask Royal Bear Jelly to lower the heating. The room was all heated up, and much hotter than here. Too much for old Jolly wearing the hat and gloves. But why the temperature? Did something have to be melted?
Linzer Cookie!
Do forgive me.
Do you know who the culprit might be?
Even if I knew, I couldn't tell. At the moment, everything points at you. But possibly not you alone. And I will discover the truth. Meanwhile, stay here and don't attempt to escape. Unless you are the culprit, that is. Yes, would you take a look at this? I think it's a manual for... and for an hour, no less. Coincidentally, the entire duration of the ceremony. Was there anything missing from the holiday tree? Indeed, it's significantly hotter inside than in other parts of the train. But what for?
What could be the purpose of cranking up the thermostat? To melt something down?
Of course. Old Jolly is a sugar gnome, not a cookie. Of course, the missing ornament. I believe I have the answers to these questions, detectives. After all, I take pride in my ability to connect the dots. The fake jam and the candy cane, the missing sheet music, they all might seem random, but in fact, these are all pieces of the same puzzle. And only with all the gaps filled, these pieces form a complete picture. We asked you all to come because it is time to find out who was truly behind the old Jolly incident. Royal Bear Jelly! Or so our conductor wanted you to believe. Take a look at this. I admit at first glance, the motive seems rather unclear. And that is what I assumed as well. And yet, the flame of suspicion starts with but a little spark. Nobody knew about the fact that Creme Brulee Cookie and I swapped our sweets, because we didn't tell a soul. Nevertheless, in the morning, Royal Bear Jelly went straight to Creme Brulee Cookie's new suite, as if knowing he would be there. I thought, could it be that the conductor secretly visited our rooms while Creme Brulee Cookie and I were elsewhere? If so, why? And then I realized one thing. Indeed, that is the first thing that comes to mind. It was my initial guess as well. However, inside the envelope was... correct! Royal Bear Jelly tried to steal the manuscript, but ended up stealing the sheet music, because our suites had been already swapped. That is how the sheet music disappeared. That is what triggered the following chain of events. This is what happened. Old Jolly was inside the room service cart. Yes, the conductor paid your room a visit while you were in the banquet car. Excellent question. The proof is right here. To hide this fact, Royal Bear Jelly increased the temperature in Old Jolly's suite and melted the ice cream cake that was inside. The candy cane was soundly caked in the liquid. It also happened to seem as if it was Old Jolly's strawberry jam. Brilliant idea if you think of it. An enclosed space, such as our Holiday Express, poses great difficulties for the culprit. If you throw an object out the window, someone will notice. If you try to hide it, someone might stumble upon it. Like Detective Cheddar Cheese mentioned, this is where things get interesting. You see, in the course of their physical altercation with Royal Bear Jelly, Old Jolly happened to pluck the conductor's mustache. Remember Royal Bear Jelly's so-called holiday style from earlier?
The hairs must have gotten stuck to the candy cane. It was super sticky after all.
The conductor had absolutely no time to pick the hairs one by one. I doubt it was possible at all. That's where you are mistaken, conductor. There was no perfection when it comes to crime. Only cold, hard truth waiting to be unveiled. And this is the reason why I write my novels. At last, it was a long journey.
Linzer Cookie!
Creme Brulee Cookie?
I wanted to thank you for all that you've done. My good name is cleared thanks to you.
I only did what I thought was right.
I knew you would say that. Then how about happy holidays?
I like it better. It's been a while since we met during the holidays, isn't it? Remember? You wouldn't find time for me because of your endless practice sessions back then, too?
Oh, wasn't it you who would talk ceaselessly about crime and jam after the success of your debut novel?
Oh, come on, you liked it. Very well. I think I might be able to find some time. It just so happens that I finished my manuscript last night.
You wrote while all those things were happening.
Of course, there's no better time. I used to only write about cookies before. But this time, other desserts will appear too. This little fact might or might not be crucial to the plot.
Sounds intriguing. I only hope the culprit is not the pianist.
You will find out soon enough. Happy holidays, Creme Brulee Cookie.